President Biden sending a clear message to Russia. Ransomware attacks will not be tolerated. Comes just a week after REvil, that Russia-based hacking group, hit up about 1,500 businesses and just a month ago extorted millions from the meat processor JBS. Let's bring in Andy Bennett to this discussion because he was the incident commander who led the response to the largest cyber attack in U.S. history against local governments back in 2019. And here's what you need to know. They did not pay the ransom, and the sites got back online. Andy, how did you fight back early and successfully?
Well, the first thing to do is to fight back early. Don't sit around second-guessing yourself, wondering if it is an incident. Treat it like an incident. And for those times where it isn't an incident, it's a great exercise. And for those times when it's real, getting started early is absolutely crucial. The next thing is have a plan. What made us so effective is we spent 2 years developing a statewide incident response plan to handle a large-scale attack. And we exercised it, we practiced it, we revised it, and when the day came, we already knew what to do, we already knew what our triggers were, and we just set the plan into action, and we got busy. And we did not pay the ransom. You're absolutely right.
I know a lot of places have said we'd love to not pay the ransom, but we got to get back online. So if they're in that boat right now, what are the clues to watch for?
Well, there's the clues to watch for before the attack and the clues to watch for after the attack, right? Because the first thing to know is that even if you pay the ransom, you may not get your information back. In the case of the Colonial Pipeline attack, they did pay the ransom, as everybody seems to know these days, but they ended up recovering from their backups after paying the ransom, because it turns out that the decryption process was slower than their recovery process. And so that ended up being money just down the tubes. The next thing to watch for is before the fact. You need to be watching for behaviors, abnormal activities, things that seem wrong should be looked at. You can't just ignore things.
I've often found myself asking, why don't we hack the hackers? They're smart, yes, but we're supposed to be smarter, right? We're supposed to have the best of the best. Yet we hear these groups, this group in Russia right now that is ascended, and some others out there, that they're getting more sophisticated. President Biden told President Putin, I will defend the United States. He didn't say how. So I'll ask you, how should he do it?
There's a lot of different ways that you're not the first person to ask that question. Should we hack the hackers? And I personally, I've never taken a public stance, but I'm going to say that yes, there is a time and place where hacking the hackers is appropriate, where taking away their means to perpetrate the attacks is appropriate. But the thing is, you have to do that very judiciously. We are the world's leading superpower in cyber. A recent British study that came out just a couple weeks ago indicated that we still have a 10-year lead on a lot of other nations that would be considered leaders in this space. But the problem is in cybersecurity, once you use one of your tricks, it's used, it's out there. It's not like we can just go back in a conventional warfare, you can just go make more weapons. In cybersecurity, you have to design new weapons after you've used one. So attacking back, absolutely on the table, but it has to be done very judiciously. Not every single incursion is worthy of a response, because once you use those tools, they're gone. And that's something that isn't brought up often enough in that question and debate about hacking back.
Andy Bennett with Apollo Information Systems. A lot to think about here. Thank you so much.